Hello there guys, Francis Gray here, and in today's video I'm going to be making a custom one-off base to house 4 Funko Pops of the main characters from the ever awesome Gears of War franchise. I'll see you after this. Okay guys, so if you don't know who these characters are, basically it's Marcus Phoenix. He's the main character in the franchise. His best friend Dom Santiago. Then we've got Augustus Cole, also known as the Cole Train, and then we've got Dominic Baird, which make up Delta Squad. Now if you've never played Gears of War, it's a fantastic franchise, fantastic game, and the reason why I'm customizing these is I've just recently introduced Gears of War to my son, who was only just turned 11, and it has dominated his world. Everything's just Gears of War at the moment. Everything from Gears of War birthday cake to Gears of War curtains, bedding, whatever we could find, basically. So he found this guy on in a local car boot sale, and ever since he has been fascinated with collecting the others. So me and his mum have got the other 3, and we're going to give it to him as a Christmas present. But instead of just giving him 3 Funko Pops, instead we're going to be customizing a base that houses all 4. And then we're going to be doing little logos and loads of little Easter eggs from the games and stuff. So yeah, so it's going to be a fun little side project, this one. So instead of me waffling on all the time, let's get cracking with the build. Okay guys, so the first thing I did was I had this old wooden base that I picked up on a car boot sale years ago, and as you can see there, it's in a bit of a state. The felt on the bottom's coming away, and there's all kinds of rubbish on top. So, for the next part, I'm going to go ahead with a sanding block and give it a good clean. Okay guys, so for the next part I'm going in with some PVA glue, and I'm just going to apply it to all the areas, mush it around my fingers, and I'm going to let this absorb into the wood, and then this should go a long way in order to protect the bottom of the base. So after leaving it a good few hours to dry, for the next stage I'm going in with a nice matte black, and then this is just to give the base a protective coat and a base tone to start from. Okay guys, so now that we have our base, for the next stage we need to go ahead and recreate some kind of ground on here for the figures to sit on top. Now I found this like plastic tile, believe it or not, in a fancy dress costume shop. So what you could use this for a costume, I have no idea, but you know, we live and learn, so that's where it was. So yeah, as you can see there, it's a nice like road kind of texture on the bottom there, and it just so happens to be the exact same width as this. So the idea I have is I'm going to place this upside down, and I'm going to get a pencil and I'm going to carefully try to sketch a rough estimate on where the circumference of this, and then we can go ahead and think about cutting that out. Okay guys, so in order to cut this out, I'm going to go over to my bandsaw, and I'm going to take my time because this is very dangerous, and hopefully we can make it match pretty much bang on. Yes, my bandsaw blade just snapped. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go buy a new one.
Eventually.
Okay guys, so these oval parts on the bottom, they're making this like raise up in an unwanted ledge. So I'm going to go in with some snippers and I'm going to take my time and I'm going to snip all that clear, file it all down, and then we should have a nice even surface to glue to the base. Okay, so now that that fits in place, for the next part I'm going to go in with a sharp scalpel and I'm going to add some score marks, like a zigzag pattern, and then I'm going to do the same for the underside of the piece of plastic. And then once that is nicely scored, I'm going to go ahead with a 2-part epoxy resin, so equal measures of part A, part B, mix thoroughly, and then we can put it in place, weigh it down with some paints that we aren't using at the moment, and then just leave it overnight to fully dry.
Day 2.
Okay guys, so that's gone ahead and dried nicely. So as you can see here, it's not lined up perfect, so I'm just going to go in with a smoothing tool and or a grinding bit and grind all this nice and flush. Okay guys, so that's a lot smoother now and it matches a lot better. Now we do have a bit of a slight gap here, and then obviously we've got the odd little, you know, seam line between the two. So for the next stage I'm going to go in with some good old-fashioned regular white wood filler. Okay, so we'll go ahead and leave that to dry, and then we can go back into the spray booth and give it another coat of black gloss. Okay guys, so I went ahead and got a Gears of War logo from a Google search, and then after I cleaned that up I put it into matter control, and then I added a rectangle to the back of it, created it as a 3D STL file, saved it, and now we can go ahead and print a nameplate.
Soon after.
Okay guys, so seeing as I'm going to be 3D printing a Gears of War logo, while I'm going to be there printing, I thought I'll go ahead and download a STL file for some cog tags, and then shrink them right down, print 2 off, and then hopefully we can have like a little Easter egg cog logo that should go a long way to making this more Gears of War in nature. Okay, so now that we've got all the files together, let's go ahead and print them.
2 hours later.
Okay, so now we've got our pieces. Gonna go ahead and file them all nice and smooth, and then we can think about giving them a white or grey prime. Okay, so while filing the edges, the back of this seemed to come away or rip off, so don't really know why that happened. So we need to go ahead and we need to refill that, so good old regular standard milliput to the rescue. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave this to harden, smooth it all down, and then I'll add it to the base. Okay guys, so now that the logo has been added and a few little imperfections have been dealt with, for the next stage I'm going to add some of these little felt squares underneath, just to help protect and raise up the bottom of the base. And yes, you guessed it, a third coat of a nice gloss black. Okay, so as you can see there, once it's been left to dry, it looks really nice now. So for the next stage, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to recreate that iconic cog skull logo. So this is a sticker that I had in my Gears of War 4 Xbox game, and I decided to take my time with a sharp scalpel and cut all the unnecessary parts out, and then we can go ahead and stick this on the base, and then this should make a nice protective layer for the iconic logo. Okay guys, so now that that logo is in place, for the next stage I'm going to go in with a sponge and some Flintstone grey, and I'm going to dab over the top, and then this will make a nice highlight, and then later on we can take away that logo, and then the darker black tones will come through later on. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so for the next bit I'm going to go in with some mushroom grey, but this time on a old unused toothbrush, and then that just adds like a little stipple effect that adds goes a long way to add a highlight or an interesting visual part to the paint job. Okay, so for the next part, now I really like this artwork, which was to one of the later Gears of War games, which kind of shows this like this like overgrown veinage, I suppose, like seeping out from the main logo. So I thought that would be a nice little detail to add to this. So just gonna go in with just regular black acrylic and a small detail brush, and I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna paint all the veins. This might take a while to do, but I think it's a worthy step. Okay, so while the black's still out, I'm going to go in and I'm going to top up this Gears of War logo. And I might as well top up the base as well. Okay guys, so for the next bit I'm going to go in with some regular black watercolour, and I'm just going to add like a wash over the side of the base where it starts to curl over, and then that'll help it blend out to the black base overall. While the black watercolour's already there, I might as well go in and I can add some more veinage, but this will dry, but you'll still see it, but it won't be as vibrant as the acrylic paint was. So it looks like faded veins like in the background, so it just goes a long way to have a nice extra effect. And yeah, for the next bit I'm going to go in with some regular red acrylic, and then we're going to add that highlight to the backdrop behind the skull. So for the next bit I'm going to go in with some dead white from Game Colour, and I'm just going to give it a once over coat over the Gears of War letters. And now that that's done, I'm going to go back in with some more watercolour, and I'm going to add some more external veinages just to add a little bit more detail. And now that the white had a chance to dry, I'm going to go in with some more black acrylic, and I'm going to tidy up the overspill. And next I'm going to go in with a makeup brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit of dry watercolour. Just to add a little bit of dirt and stainage. Now that has been left to dry, let's go into the garage and give it all a clear coat of gloss varnish. Okay, so now that the main base is finished, for the next stage I'm going to go in with a fine drill bit and some wire, and we're going to drill and pin all these Funko Pops into place.
Screw you! Let me go! Put me down! Oh no! Oh hell no! It's go time, baby! Dig in, baby! Glad to be on this team.
So for the next part I'm going to go in with some gory red, and I'm going to add some blood splatter to Lieutenant Baird's chainsaw part of his Lancer. Okay guys, so the little cog tags are now painted. So I left a little blue highlight going around the sides because in the game they are made of steel, but when they're on the floor they do have like a blue tinge to them, or a blue highlight to make it so they stand out. So I thought that was a cool little Easter egg. So now that we've got these, I need to go ahead and add them to the base somewhere, and I'm mainly thinking somewhere in the foreground, like down here or something, or to the sides or something like that. But we need to go ahead and we need to recreate the chain to them. So I found this in the street the other day. It's just an old security tag. Obviously somebody bought an item of clothing, and then on the way home they decided to just rip it off, and this was just laid there in the street, and I thought that this would work really good as a necklace. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and I'll cut this to shape, and then we'll add it in place, and then we can glue it, and then yeah, hopefully we've got a nice little cog tag Easter egg.
5 minutes later.
Okay guys, so I went ahead and tried to super glue it, but it just wasn't really connecting, so I ended up putting it in a clamp, and then I took a flame to it, heated the plastic up, and it melted in on itself. So we've got the nice circular motion of the chain, so now we can in theory hide the cog tags over the this horrible seam. So I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and glue this in place, and then we'll add the little cog tags later on. And for the final part, I'm going to go in with some gloss varnish, and I'm going to add a little bit of varnish to the surface of the goggles on Bird's head, just to give him a nice reflective look. Hello there guys, please forgive the hat and the gloves and everything like that. I'm filming this exit video part in the middle of December in a really cold garage which has got no heating in it. So yeah, I'm freezing here, so expect me to look like Jack Torrance at the end of this. So anyway, getting back to the build, here it is, all finished, the Gears of War Delta Squad Funko Pop mini display. And I've really enjoyed working on this one, and from one Gears fan to another, I think my son will really like this. So this guy here, Marcus Phoenix, now my son already had that in his collection, and because he had this one, he wanted the rest of Delta Squad. So it took us a while to track the extra ones online, and yeah, it took a while to get a few of them back. They weren't posted up straight away. But now that they're all here and I could crack on with the display, I'm happy to say that it all got done and wrapped up, no pun intended, just before Christmas. So yeah, so this guy, he's gonna have to go back in the bedroom. He's on a little secret away mission, and then on Christmas Eve, I'm gonna have to try and sneak into his room and then confiscate this little fella without my son noticing, and then bring him back into the garage, glue him in place, and then we can give this as a present on Christmas Day. So I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, so if you've enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, share it on Facebook and Twitter, because it helps new people find the YouTube channel, which I'm always appreciative. Thank you for any help. If you have any comments, comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future builds. And if you want to be a really awesome viewer, please take 5 minutes to check out my Patreon page. And then with your help, or with help from the community, we can do this full time rather than part time. So once again, I'm Francis Gray, and this is Gears of War Delta Squad Funko Pop mini collection, or mini display. I'll see you in the next build. Okay guys, Operation Santa, let's go.
That's a lot of blood.